Shiny hunting in Pokemon Scarlet. How do you do it? A lot of people have been asking me as I've been exploring Paldea, and I have gotten a few shiny Pokemon, so I wanted to just make a quick guide that walked through the basics with a little bit more nuance to it, because there are a few things that you have to be mindful of while doing this method. I've gotten 3 shinies so far with it, one that I found it as just an overworld encounter, so 4 total. But let's dive into some of the information that you're going to need before starting, and what you actually have to bring with you to do this. If you don't know who Anubis is and you're shiny hunting, dive over into his Twitter. There's a lot of really good back-end game info that Anubis posts. Usually he ends up tearing through the game code using some form of like jailbroken switch or something. I don't know how he does it. I just know that he's usually diving into the rates, how the mechanics work, how the encounters work, and a lot of other just really good game information on there. Always a treat when Anubis posts something new pertaining to shiny hunting, because you know it's going to actually be relevant, you know it's actually going to be truthful, non-speculative, like it's tested, very thorough. I don't know who this person is, other than Sabuna. Thank you, whoever you are, if you ever see this. But let's showcase the rates here. So we've got this handy chart. It basically showcases Mass Outbreaks. They are back. A feature that carried over from Legends Arceus into this game. There are just outbreaks of Pokemon that spawn daily on your map. So you load up your map. If you open up the game for the first time, it will have a message in the upper right of your screen that says new mass outbreaks are starting. All you have to do is open your map, kind of zoom out to the farthest you can go until you get to that point of zooming out entirely and not being able to see the Pokemon. And there will be small Pokemon icons on the map. I'll showcase that in my game in a second. But you go to those outbreaks, right? They can be all sorts of different Pokemon, and your goal is to knock out 30 or 60 of them. Now that can be easier or more difficult depending on what the Pokemon is, what level it is, and what type it is. You want to have something that can actually KO the Pokemon pretty easily in a type matchup, and ideally be over-leveled. So you can play with it a little bit, and if you need to swap Pokemon, you can just go in your box and grab something else that might be a little bit better at it, but it is kind of trial and error. Now, one thing that you do need to be mindful of is if the Pokemon is in the water, Pokemon that can float, I have not had good success with Pokemon that just stand on the floaty things. They just don't seem to attack the Pokemon in the water for some reason. So I've had to resort to things like a Gyarados, things like a Pokemon that swims, Palmy, for whatever reason, swims in the water. So I've used Palmy a lot for water Pokemon. Just be mindful, if it's in the water, you might need to find something else to actually do this. But the odds change depending on how many you've knocked out. So we've got 30 to 59. If you just do 30, you get an extra shiny roll. So it takes the odds and cuts them in half. If you want to have them cut in half even further, you're going to want to knock out 60 plus. Now, when you hit 20 to 30, there will be a message in the game that notifies you that you're getting closer. You're decreasing the amount of Pokemon in the outbreak. It will say something to the tune of the outbreak is decreasing, and there will be a step-by-step message, typically 3 messages before you completely deplete the outbreak. It'll say the outbreak is decreasing, the outbreak is getting lower, it doesn't seem like there's many of the outbreak Pokemon left, and then finally the outbreak is gone entirely. So you don't want to be overzealous with this. I will show ways that you can track this a little bit easier to give you some peace of mind. But these are the base odds that we're working with. Now, there are additional odds that come from using Sparkling Power level 3. That comes from sandwiches that you can make via ingredients called Herba Mysticas. You may know these from the Titan Pokemon. You get these from 5-star raids in the end game. So if you're early in the game, like a lot of people are, you're going to want to ignore this portion. Additionally, the Shiny Charm, if you complete the Paldean Dex, you get the Shiny Charm. That always helps. So for some people, it might be better to reserve Shiny hunting until you've beaten the game, until you've filled out the Dex, so you can get those full odds. But I have had success without it. So, and I'll showcase why. But the odds get down to 1 in 1,365 for just knocking out 60, which sounds like a huge daunting number, but you're going to be spawning multiple Pokemon in the overworld at one time. It's not going to be one-on-one encounters. You can spawn them in batches up to like 12 to 15, depending on how the spawns work. When we get into the spawns, this is what the map looks like, with every single pinhead red dot being a Pokemon spawn location. Your proximity to these locations dictates when the Pokemon actually spawns in. So you can see there's a heat map of basically every spawn location on the map. This isn't really a reference, you won't ever use this to reference, but this just kind of gives you a visual on how the Pokemon occur and come into the game naturally. Yeah. Now, once we get to our outbreak, I want to showcase this video. This is what Anubis is showing. You get to the outbreak, you battle your 60. Now from there, you don't need to battle them anymore. You look at them, see if they're shiny, you throw a picnic out if they aren't shiny. That clears out and resets the spawns. You can see Anubis just did that and a shiny Venomoth pops up. You do not need to keep battling at that point. You can just basically keep resetting as long as the Pokemon is there. Now, the downside is if the Pokemon is like a night spawn, like Venomoth is a night spawn, only comes out at night, ghastly ghost Pokemon, you will not be able to do this indefinitely. Once the daylight comes, that spawn is practically dead, and you're going to have to keep waiting until night to go back to that spawn location to keep checking them. Let's actually dive into some of the gameplay, and I can showcase how this actually looks outside of this clip that Sabuna posted. Thank you again, Anubis. So I'm in my game right now, and I've already been doing some work on an outbreak, but I'll show you what they look like on the map. So if I zoom out, I'm on like one of the final views before the map fully zooms out. If I go in, I have a little Dratini icon here. Now, there are other Pokemon icons here. Those are just showcasing what's in the area, so don't get confused by those. You want to be zoomed out so that you can actually get an overview. There's a Marini here, so there's a Marini outbreak there. You just kind of want to scroll through the map and see what you've got. So they can be anywhere. Floatzel's over here. This weird, creepy stork thing is here. So I decided I wanted to go for Dratini. We've got Virizion here, or not Virizion, whatever that thing's name is. I'm a shiny hunter, I don't know the names. I do, but I forget names easily. Anyways, so I'm already at the Dratini spawns. You can see there's a bunch of Dratini that are already spawned in. None of these are shiny, so I'm going to then jump off my Pokemon, and I'm going to toss out a picnic. They all disappeared. Where did they go? They're afraid to be eaten, because we eat Pokemon in this game, apparently. So you toss out your Pokemon as soon as they hit the ground. You can hit done with picnicking, and you want to try to feel out these spawns. Like, you can see that they spawned in here, but there's not a whole lot of them. As you move on your map, it despawns Pokemon and spawns in new ones depending on how close you are to those spawn locations that I showed earlier. So you can see if I run over here, they're going to start popping out. They're gone. So I just cleared those spawns manually. That's one way you can do it. You can do it by just running away. Now this one that popped in, and that one that popped in, and that one that popped in, you can see there's more of them, right? Now they're popping in again. You can do this by running away. The picnic method just resets it a little bit faster. So I'm going to then just keep doing this. I've already battled my 60, so I don't need to battle more, but I will show you what it looks like as well if your Pokemon is being a derp and won't actually get in the water to fight the Pokemon. I was using Gyarados, but watch this thing. My Masquerade is here. She just doesn't do anything, she just floats around. So that's what you have to be mindful of. You have to be careful, know the type of the Pokemon, know where it is and location, have a plan B if needed, have something that can actually go in the water. But this is basically the method. This is how it goes. And I will showcase a shiny clip of me catching a shiny Rufflet live on stream so that you have some proof. I've gotten so far a shiny Swablu, a shiny Magikarp that you may have seen I evolved into a Gyarados, and shiny Rufflet so far. I'm going for Dratini. I'll be posting clips of that when I get it. It's a matter of when, not if. But yeah, it's really simple. Hopefully this helps you. If you get through the game, remember, you can get those extra rolls from having Herba Mystica in your sandwiches, and the shiny charm. But I wish you guys the best of luck. Hope that you're having a great time in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and happy holidays. Take care. Sounds good, Flo.
Yeah, anytime, Croziers. I'll be posting like a more in-depth video of everything that I covered.
Wait. There he is! There he is! He's right there! Where are you going? He's up there. You see the brown? He's up there. He's way up there. Holy crap, there he is. Come down, son. Why is he so high up there? How do I get him down? Stop! Stop! Stop running into me! I need your brown brother. Oh, he's coming down. He's slowly descending. Maybe. Oh, he's right there. We got him. He's slowly descending. Come on. Come on. Yes. 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 So good. We're gonna paralyze him, and then we're going to hit him with the ball. I'm not going to touch him. He's slowly, just slowly swooping down. Let's go. Yes! Critical capture! We got him! Oh, I'm so excited. The exclamation point.